What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now don't forget to like this video as it does let me know to continue to give you free picks every day. So make sure to like this video clicking that button down below. And if we get 550 likes, I will do another video for tomorrow. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 22 right, which is a 97% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 97% win rate. So we're in a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 97% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $750 just yesterday. Another member who won $200 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Michael Morig N9P who said cash me. Also shouts out to Justin Stansberry 7555 who also said time to get some Christmas cash. And also shouts out to Vincent Alomes who said fire. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight to the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're talking about is none other than Jaime Jaquez Jr. This one is for 4.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Jaime Jaquez Jr., we've actually seen him do a fantastic job so far this season. However, he has gone on the under in 4 out of the last 5 games when it comes to this rebound line. Now looking at those 5 games, we see on November 27th, faced off against Milwaukee Bucks, actually had 4 rebounds there. December 2nd, faced off against LA Clippers, had 4 rebounds in that matchup. Then after that, December 4th, faced off against Dallas Mavericks, had 4 rebounds. Then December 6th, faced off against Orlando, had 3 rebounds, and then December 7th faced off against Sacramento Kings and actually had 6 rebounds there. So it's definitely been very interesting to see. Obviously, looking at someone like Jaime Jaquez Jr., we have seen him go on the under, quite frequently. And on top of that, his average over the last 5 is also 4.2. So pretty interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, we do also know that, Triple J does actually, and Miami Heat face off against Orlando Magic. Now it is definitely going to be an exciting game between both of these teams. Now this is a NBA Cup quarterfinals game, and there is only 2 games for today as well. So you may see some overlaps with the picks, but looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with Miami Heat, Miami do come in at the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. So they have a record of 14 wins, 10 losses, a 58.3% win percentage there. On top of that, they are 10-3 from home, 4-7 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. Now, they face off against Orlando Magic, who do rank 5th in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 14 wins and 10 losses. That's a 58.3% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are 9-4 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see between both these teams. Really close when it comes to their ranking. Obviously, Orlando is just a tad bit higher, but this is going to be a very intense game, as it is, an NBA Cup matchup. Now, looking at rebounds and where Orlando Magic do rank when it comes to rebounds allowed, we see that Orlando Magic do rank 9th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So for that reason, coming into this game, we do very much like the under for it. We think Orlando Magic's defense is going to have a huge effect on someone like Triple J coming into this game. Now, Orlando also do a fantastic job at actually restricting, rebounds to the guard position as well, which is what, Jaime Jaquez Jr. does play. So we definitely see that being a huge part about this game on why we do very much like the under. Now looking at Orlando and Miami, both are very slow paced teams, but we are expecting Orlando to really slow the pace down as much as they can. And because of that, as we always mention, slower pace and less volume leads to also less opportunity. So, for someone like Triple J coming into this game, especially with the fact that he has also struggled, going on the under in 4 out of the last 5, we do very much like the under for this one. We definitely see him going on the under here. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one for someone like Triple J. And when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Jaime Jaquez Jr. for 4.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So getting into the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Scotty Barnes. So Scotty Barnes, great player, as we all know. Now, he's actually done a fantastic job so far this season. However, we do very much like this one for a combo for actually rebounds and assists for 13.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Scotty Barnes, we actually have seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one's an interesting one because what we have also seen when it comes to actually Scotty Barnes, not only has he gone on the under in actually 2 out of the last 5, but what we also do see is that December 1st, faced off against New York Knicks, actually had a 9 rebound and assist game there. After that, on December 3rd, faced off against Portland, had 14 rebounds and assists. December 5th, faced off against the LA Lakers, had 20 rebounds and assists, then 8 rebounds and assists against Charlotte on December 6th, and then December 8th faced off against Boston Celtics and had 19 rebounds and assists there. So coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an interesting one, but we have definitely seen Scotty Barnes go on the under quite consistently, and as we all know, looking at this, we do know that Scotty Barnes comes in a position that Toronto Raptors also face off against the New York Knicks. Now his average over the last 5 is also 14 as well. But looking at this matchup, first of all, between Toronto and New York Knicks, both are very great teams for sure, but looking at where both of them two lie, starting off with the Toronto Raptors. Raptors have had themselves a great start to the season. They currently find themselves in the 4th spot in the actual Eastern Conference. They have a record of 15 wins and 10 losses. That's a 60% win percentage there. They're also 8-5 from home, 7-5 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So Toronto, as of lately, have definitely struggled just a little bit, but they are hoping to change that coming into this next one. Now, coming into this next one, we do know they face off against the New York Knicks. And looking at the New York Knicks do come in at the actual 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, there's an interesting matchup because we do also know when it comes to New York Knicks, they do rank 2nd, 16 wins, 7 losses, a 69.6% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 13-1 from home, 3-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. So very interesting to see there. Obviously, looking at New York Knicks, they do rank a little bit better, but it is still definitely going to be a very tight matchup as it is an NBA Cup, quarterfinals. So it is going to be a very important game. But looking at Scotty Barnes and also, Toronto Raptors facing off against the Knicks, looking at New York Knicks defensively, we do actually know that they rank 7th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 5th. So they rank very well when it comes to restricting, rebounds and assists. So coming into this matchup, there is a big reason why we do very much like the under for this one. We definitely just see someone of Scotty Barnes' caliber going on the under in this situation here. And also looking at also Scotty and Toronto Raptors facing off against the Knicks, we do also know, looking at New York Knicks, they do a great job at restricting rebounds and assists to his position as well. Now, as we mentioned before with the other pick, obviously pace does play a huge part, and New York Knicks do play one of the slowest pace games, out of all 30 NBA teams. Obviously, they do rank, or do still have somewhat of some pace, but we are expecting them to slow down Toronto Raptors, specifically Scotty Barnes, as much as they can. And because of that, it'll definitely have a huge effect because, as we always know, slower pace and less volume leads to less opportunity. So for someone like Scotty Barnes, we definitely see him going on the under there. Now, just on top of that, we also do see that Scotty Barnes, when we look at his average over the last 5 or some of those games, he has been able to go on the over in a couple of matchups where he's definitely done very good. but it was against much easier teams. So coming into this next one, we do very much like the under for this one, and we see Scotty Barnes going on the under there. So Scotty Barnes, 13.5 rebounds and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So getting into the next pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Tyler Herro. So as you all know, Tyler Herro, great player, and this one is for 2.5 3-pointers made, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Tyler Herro, we actually have seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one's been a fantastic one because we do also know when it comes to Tyler Herro, you know, he does actually, or has gone on the under in 2 out of the last 5, but looking at those 5, we see November 25th, faced off against Dallas, had 0 3-pointers made there. November 27th, faced off against Milwaukee, had 3 3-pointers made. November 30th, faced off against Detroit, had 6 3-pointers made. Then December 2nd, faced off against the LA Clippers, had 4 3-pointers made. Then December 4th, faced off against Dallas Mavericks, and actually had 2 3-pointers made there. So as we mentioned before, we have seen Tyler Herro go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. And looking at those 5 games, we do see that his average over the last 5 is also 3. So yes, it is slightly above this line. We do, however, like the under for this situation as Miami do face off against Orlando Magic. Now, we have already touched on this matchup before, but just to quickly remind you all again, looking at where both of these teams do lie, starting off with Miami Heat. Miami Heat do come in at the 6th spot with in the Eastern Conference with 14 wins, 10 losses, a 58.3% win percentage there, and also 10-3 from home, 4-7 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. Now they face off against Orlando, as we've mentioned before, and Orlando Magic come in at the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 14 wins, 10 losses, a 58.3% win percentage there, and on top of that, they are 9-4 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see there. Obviously, looking at this matchup, we do also know that Orlando Magic face off, you know, or have done defensively a pretty good job at the 3-point line, because we do see that Orlando Magic, they rank 16th when it comes to 3-point percentage allowed. When it comes to 3-point attempts allowed, we do see that Orlando Magic do rank 1st, and then 3-point makes allowed, we see that Orlando Magic rank 2nd. So, you know, Orlando have been one of the best, you know, 3-point restricting teams in the NBA so far this season, and we continue and are expecting them to continue to put up a really good fight defensively when it comes to restricting Tyler Herro. Now, Herro has definitely struggled against better defensive teams when it comes to the 3-point line, and that's why coming into this matchup, we do very much like the under for this one. Now, Tyler Herro, although, you know, he has had some big games, especially like that one against Detroit, we do believe it was a bit of an outlier game. It's brought this line a little bit too high, that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this situation here for someone like Tyler Herro, and we definitely see him going on the under here. So for that reason, Tyler Herro, 2.5 3-pointers made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Alright, so as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Jalen Suggs. Now, as you all know, when it comes to Jalen Suggs, he has done a fantastic job for the Orlando Magic, because he's actually come in averaging 14.6 points, 3.8 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and has also had a 45.5% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at Jalen Suggs, we also see him ranking 70th when it came to points, 127th when it came to rebounds, 39th when it came to assists, and then 91st when it came to field goal percentage. So look at someone like Jalen Suggs, we have definitely seen him do a great job for sure, but coming into this next matchup, it is definitely going to be an interesting one, because we do actually know Orlando Magic have themselves a very good matchup against Miami Heat. Now, it is definitely going to be a good game there. But looking at this matchup between both of these teams, we do also know when it comes to Miami Heat and Orlando Magic, this is actually the quarterfinals for the NBA Cup. So it is definitely going to be a little bit more of an extra special game due to the fact that there is a lot more on the line for it. But coming into this matchup, we do also know that actually, you know, Jalen Suggs and Orlando Magic face off against a Heat team. And looking at where both of these teams do rank, starting off with Magic have actually been able to pull together together, a couple of great wins, and now they find themselves in the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference. They've definitely been able to pull it together as of recent and have done a great job at that. Now, they do have a record of 14 wins and 10 losses. That's a 58.3% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are 9-4 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So they've definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at someone like Jalen Suggs, we have seen them do a great job for sure. But what we also do see is they face off against a Heat team who also ranks 6th in the Eastern Conference, and they have a record of 14 wins and 10 losses. So, very interesting to see there. Obviously, 58.3% win percentage there, 10-3 from home, 4-7 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So, Heat have struggled. They have been a little bit of on a little bit of a slump as of recent. But looking at this matchup, we do also know that Miami Heat defensively do rank, starting off with points allowed. Miami Heat do actually come in at the 22nd spot when it comes to points allowed. They also rank 20th when it comes to assists allowed, and then rebounds allowed. We also do see that Miami Heat rank 29th. So it has definitely been a little bit of a struggle for actually Miami Heat lately. Defensively, they do definitely struggle at restricting points, rebounds, and assists. And that's why coming into this game, we do very much like the over for someone like Jalen Suggs here. Now, obviously, this is also a quarter final game for the NBA Cup. So we are expecting, some of the main players like Jalen Suggs to have a little bit more extra usage rate, as this is, a make or break game for sure. But looking at this, we also do see that when it comes to Jalen Suggs and the Orlando Magic, we are expecting the over, as when we look at Miami Heat, they also do a very poor job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the guard position. So, for that reason, we do very much like the over for this one. Now, looking at Jalen Suggs over the last 5 games, we saw on the 29th of last month of November, they actually faced off against Detroit, had a 112-109 win with 14 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds there. Then, on the 2nd, faced off against Chicago Bulls, had a 125-120 win with 10 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. After that, on the 4th, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had a 114-112 loss with 24 points, 4 assists, and also 4 rebounds. And then on the 6th, faced off against Miami, had a 106-105 win with 22 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Then on the 8th, faced off against New York Knicks, had a 106-100 loss with 17 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds there. So, very interesting to see. Now, obviously, looking at someone like Jalen Suggs and the Orlando Magic, it is definitely going to be an interesting game here because, Miami Heat have definitely struggled at restricting, points, rebounds, and assists. So, you do very much like the over for this one. So, keep an eye out for Jalen Suggs coming into this game. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially if the line is under his averages. Now, getting into the next player, going to be talking about Jakob Poeltl. So, Jakob Poeltl, great player, as we all know, for none other than the Toronto Raptors. And he's done a fantastic job so far this season because we've actually seen him average 10.2 points, 7.9 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and has also had a 69% field goal percentage. So, he's definitely done a great job there. Now, when we actually look at Jakob Poeltl and the Toronto Raptors, on top of, 10.2 points, 7.9 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 69% field goal percentage, we do actually see he does rank 131st when it comes to points, 25th when it came to rebounds, and 123rd when it came to assists as well. So looking at Poeltl and the Toronto Raptors, they have themselves also a quarterfinals matchup for the NBA Cup against none other than the New York Knicks. So it is going to be an exciting game for sure. Now looking at where both of these teams do lie, starting off with actually the New York, we'll start off with the Raptors actually. Raptors come in at the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference. They've actually done a great job having a record of actually 15 wins and also 10 losses there. They have a 60% win percentage. On top of that, 8-5 from home, 7-5 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So Raptors have definitely been on a little bit of a losing streak as of lately, but they are hoping to turn things around in this one. Now, looking at this matchup, we do also know, looking at Jakob Poeltl and the Toronto Raptors, they face off against a Knicks team who actually rank better than them, because Knicks come in at the 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 16 wins, 7 losses. On top of that, a 69.6% win percentage there, 13-1 from home, 3-6 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see, obviously, coming into it. Now, looking at, Jakob Poeltl and the matchup he does face off against, which is the Knicks, we do see that Knicks, when it comes to points allowed, they do rank 5th. When it comes to assists allowed, they rank 7th, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 5th as well. So we actually have seen, when it comes to, the New York Knicks, they've been a great defensive team. And that is definitely due to the fact that, they do like to also play pretty slow pace type basketball. They like to slow down the pace as much as they can, and slowing down that pace can definitely have a huge effect, because less pace means less volume and less opportunity to score, rebound, and assist for the other teams. So that's why coming into this one, we do very much like the under for this, and we definitely are expecting the under for someone like Jakob Poeltl, as Knicks do also do a great job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the center position. So coming into this matchup, we are definitely liking the under for it. Now, when we also look at someone like Jakob over the last 5 games, we do also see on the 27th of last month, faced off against Indiana, had a 97-95 win and had 8 points, 3 assists, 9 rebounds there. On the 30th, faced off against Charlotte, had a 118-111 loss with 8 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds. After that, on the 3rd, faced off against Portland, had a 121-118 win with 11 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. Then on the 6th, faced off against Charlotte, had a 111-86 loss with 5 points, 1 assist, 7 rebounds. And then on the 8th, faced off against Boston, had a 121-113 loss with 10 points, 0 assists, and 4 rebounds there. So very interesting to see, obviously. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that Jakob Poeltl and the Toronto Raptors, have definitely done a great job for, the last couple of games, in a sense that, having Jakob Poeltl's usage rate be somewhat consistent. But with a matchup against the Knicks, who are great defensively, it is just a no-brainer for us to like the under for this. So definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one. Now, when we look at his line, keep an eye out for the line first. If it is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under there. So, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Andrew Wiggins from the Miami Heat. So, Miami Heat obviously have done a great job acquiring, Andrew Wiggins recently, or not recently as in this season, but just in general. And he's definitely been able to be a huge asset for Miami Heat, because he's actually averaged 16.8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's also had a 48.3% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a great job there. Now, when we look at someone like Andrew Wiggins for the Miami Heat, he also does rank 52nd in points, 81st in rebounds, 89th in assists, and a 56th in also field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a great job there. Now, when we look at someone like Andrew Wiggins and the Miami Heat, we do know they face off against the Orlando Magic. So it is going to be an exciting game for sure. So just to remind you on where both of these teams do lie, starting off with Miami Heat. Miami Heat have definitely done a great job, but they come in at the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. Now, when it actually does that, we also do see that, they have a 14-win, 10-loss record, 58.3% win percentage there. They're also 10-3 from home, 4-7 from away, and are currently on a 3-game losing streak. So as we've seen, definitely has struggled just a little bit when it comes to, or Miami Heat has definitely struggled just a little bit when it comes to their wins as of lately. And they face off against the Magic, who rank 5th in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 14 wins, 10 losses, a 58.3% win percentage there. And also have a 9-4 record from home, 5-6 record from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see. Obviously, looking at that, We do also know that when we look at Andrew Wiggins and the Miami Heat, they face off against an Orlando Magic team that do rank at 7th when it comes to points allowed. When we look at assists allowed, they rank 3rd, and then rebounds allowed, we also do see that Orlando Magic rank 9th. So we actually have seen, Miami Heat do a great job defensively, which is what we talked about earlier with Jalen Suggs, but Orlando Magic are also a great defensive team as well. So that's why coming into this matchup, we do very, very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is a great player, do not get me wrong, but what we also do see is that when it comes to Andrew Wiggins, he is a forward, and actually, we do see Orlando Magic do a great job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the forward position as well. So we are definitely expecting the under for this situation here. Now, when we actually look at, Andrew Wiggins over the last 5 games, we saw on the 30th faced off against Detroit, had a 138-135 loss with actually 31 points, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds there. After that, on the 2nd, faced off against the LA Clippers, had a 140-123 win with 22 points, 3 assists, 9 rebounds there. Then on the 4th, faced off against Dallas, actually had a 118-108 loss with 11 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds there. Then on the 6th, faced off against Orlando, had a 106-105 loss with 13 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds there. And then on the 7th, faced off against Sacramento, had a 127-111 loss with 13 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds there. So very, very interesting to see. Obviously, looking at this matchup, we obviously have seen Orlando face off against Miami most recently, and he did actually struggle a little bit because he did hit his rebounding average. However, assists he was lower than, and also points he was lower than compared to his averages. So we definitely did see Orlando do a great job at, slowing him down. That's definitely due to the fact of great position at defending his positions, but also just a slow pace type game that they do like to run definitely has a huge effect there. So that's why coming into this one, we do very, very much like the under for this one. And we definitely see Andrew Wiggins going on the under here, whether it's points, rebounds, or assists.